of the MR2 bumper. Last video was me drilling holes in all the structure back there and gluing it together and bolting it together. This video I will be bodyworking it and getting it ready for a primer, and then I will prime it at work and probably insert a clip of that at the end of this video. So I've got everything. I've got my Bondo, I've got my sandpaper. It's really all I'm going to need for this part. I've already sanded down the panel bond that I glued it together with. Got that as smooth as possible with the DA. I still need to go back and hand sand all the kind of crevices and corners that the DA couldn't reach. So I'm going to do that, start body working it, and on to the next step. So I've already sanded down the panel bond with the DA and some 80 grit. There's still some places I still need to hand sand, all the shiny parts, but that's just scuffing it up enough for Bondo to stick. I've got the rear bumper caught up to this point, so I'll be bodyworking that too. The whole bodyworking part is not going to be very interesting, so it will probably be a lot of fast-forwarded clips and time lapses of some sort. So I'll show you guys how to keep these body lines lined up and whatnot and get it all smooth and flat. As you can see, it's going to take a little bit of Bondo to get in there, but I've got some. The first thing I'm going to do is put some kitty hair in there, which is fiberglass enforced Bondo. There are some spots that are going to take quite a bit of Bondo. I'll try to keep it as thin as possible, but it's almost inevitable. All across here is going to take quite a bit. These corners are probably going to be the worst of them, but we'll get it figured out. So the first round of Bondo I'll be putting on here is short strand reinforced fiberglass filler, also called kitty hair. I will be trying to fill the big voids with this, the bigger voids with this, just because it's stronger, because it's fiberglass reinforced, than regular Bondo. So I will be cutting up my box and getting my Bondo board ready, getting ready to spread some Bondo. Yay! Get off. Ooh, wow. That needs stirring. Nasty. Alright, now that this is stirred, gross. Can't really tell, but it's better. Oh yeah. That's the good stuff. Alright, so rule of thumb with Bondo, especially in hot weather. We're good. We're all good. So you got yourself a glob. What I'm going to do is put a line of this hardener just from one end to the other end of this glob. Hotter weather. It's mild weather right now, so that much will do. Hotter weather in the night, when it gets into the 90s, you might want to put a little bit less. When it's winter time and it's 60s, 40s degrees, 1.5 lines will do fine. Let me mix up this hardener real quick. This kitty hair is kind of hard to tell when you've got all the hardener mixed well enough, so just kind of go until you don't see any light blue hardener anymore, and then go a little bit longer, and then it should be good. It'll harden. Get it down in there real good. It's always kind of best to get all your Bondo on on the object first and then come back and smooth it out better. Kitty hair is not the easiest to spread smooth. It wants to like ball up on itself kind of. Alright, Bondo's hard. I've got some 80 grit on the DA. Now I know some people are going to say, oh, you should be wearing a mask. And I was planning on wearing a mask, but I forgot mine at work. So I won't be in this video. Sorry. Alright, so I have sanded the kitty hair with the DA. Now you guys may be wondering, well, it doesn't look like it's sanded all the way. Well, it's not. What I did was just hold the DA flat across here, all the way across, and because I'm trying to get this surface flat, obviously. So now I'm just going to go with the edge of the DA and just barely sand in here all these dark green spots. And to get that, that's just going to prep it for the next skim of Bondo. So as I was sanding this, I'm looking at the body lines and seeing how I want to manipulate them. These are looking alright. I obviously want these to be straight all the way across, all the way down. Same over here. Looking down the side here, if you read the Bondo, so what you're seeing is obviously the dark is still low, the light is high spots that got sanded, and all these edges under here are still low spots too, because the whole thing kind of dips in a little bit. What I'm going to do is make this a body line where the gap would normally be. So this bumper is going to kind of scoop out to a body line and then go straight down right here. So, and this body line will fade into nothing back to here because the bumper kind of scoops out as it goes towards the edge right there. So that's going to be a smooth, it's not going to be like a sharp body line at all. It'll be nice and rounded, and then from here down it will be straight down all the way across. I'm going to have this be straight and then go into a little roll right there. So that's my goal. Alright, so I've got the kitty hair fully scuffed now. Got masking tape where I want my body lines. So I'm just going to wipe from there to there with Bondo. Then I'll pull the tape off when the Bondo is still kind of tacky, not fully dry but not fully wet also. I'll also do that right here on both sides because both sides the body line's kind of low. It's kind of sunk in a little bit. So I'll put a tape line here later and bodywork from here down, and then a tape line here and then bodywork from here up later on after I get this part looking how I want it to. Alright, good enough. Know when to stop, or else you're just going to mess it up. I know that looks like a lot of Bondo, and it is, but most of that's going to be sanded off, so don't worry about it. Now, on to what I'm going to be sanding the Bondo with. I will not be doing anything everything else with the DA. Everything else from now on is going to be with sticky paper and some sanding blocks. Got some more smaller ones for intricate areas. No more power tools after this point. The DA was just to sand the kitty hair quicker because it's kind of hard to sand. It gets really tough. So everything else from now on will be with sandpaper and sanding blocks. I've got 80 grit is what I will be using probably this whole time. I probably won't go down to 180. The only reason I would go down to 180 is right before I prime it, just to help the primer fill in scratches better. So I will be most likely using this long block for most of it, right in here, all throughout here. Shorter blocks around the sides since they're kind of curved and whatnot. So this is first time being sanded, block sanded from that body line to this body line. All I did was just in that middle part right there. It's important to kind of know how to read your Bondo after you sand it or while you're sanding it. So these spots obviously are still low, all the spots that haven't been sanded. If you look here, you can see that's a high spot, and that's obviously one, that's about to be one. So in between here and right here, it's all low, so it dips down just a little bit. Also, you can see back here that hasn't been sanded, so back throughout there it's a little wavy. So I'm gonna have to get a different block for that because I didn't grab the right one. You can tell this is high and you can tell that's high, so obviously you can see where it's dipped down right there. Just the Bondo's dipped down. It's flat now, but this body line is still low a little bit right there on the edge. So that's going to take another round of tape and just a little bit of wiping in there. But so far it shouldn't take much longer. Now I'm not going to go through and just wipe that spot, and that spot. I'm going to come back and skim the whole thing one more time, just real lightly, not as heavy as the first time, just to fill in these. Reason to doing that is if you just wipe those spots, it's real easy to just sand here, just sand here, just sand here, and you'll have a bunch of low spots. So I wipe it one more time just to keep it nice and flat. So it's pretty much ready for primer, other than this one spot over here. Gotta finish wiping that just a little bit, but it's late. So I'll finish that corner up tomorrow, and the rest of it is ready for primer. That's pretty much it for molding the front lip into the bumper. I will prime it later this week, finish that one spot over there. I'll put it back on the car, and once I get the car back, I will finish bodyworking the rest of the bumper because it's still a little wavy. But I'm tired. I'm a mess. I've made a mess, and I'll finish the rest tomorrow. Alright, so I was not able to video me actually priming the bumpers just because I did it on lunch break and wasn't rushed, but I was in a hurry, wanted to go get lunch. But I do now have them in primer, so here is the end result of both the front and the rear bumper, because I bodyworked the rear bumper off camera and got them both primed today actually. So bodywork on it isn't exactly perfect because it's only the first prime. There will be more bodyworking, just small things here and there, getting the body line straighter and sharper. First prime, there's always stuff you kind of got to go back and fix. It's kind of like this. You can see it's kind of hard to see, but that body line's a little funky just from it poking out a little bit. But there's a few little divots which you probably can't see very well, but all that will get filled up. A little bit there, a little bit down here, just a few pinholes here and there, but all that will get body worked or sanded out when I reprime this. I didn't video gluing these in, but if anybody out there who has an MR2 that wants to do this, just send me a message and I'll tell you how I did it. It wasn't that hard. It does look a little wavy. You can see some little primer buildup right there, but once it's on the car, that will get body worked flat to the fender. I'm still going to keep these gaps, but it will get body worked flush so that all three surfaces match each other, just with the gaps in between. And I'll show how to do that when I get to that point, but that's later on down the line when I have the car back here. And the rear bumper, both these are smoothed in. As you can see, they were two pieces. Now one piece. The black plastic on there got a little fuzzy. Just sometimes that factory plastic, you can kind of see it right there, gets a little fuzzy when you sand it with 80 grit, but that will sand out once I sand this primer. But yeah, now the back matches the front. That's it for this one. Next video I'm actually about to start filming right now after I finish this one is going to be me fixing up and getting the mini quad ready for Excite GP Round 1 down in Cordele, Georgia. I will be going down there in 2 weekends and to film and hang out with everybody and ride my mini quad around, because that will be fun. Yep, that's it for this video. MR2 bumpers are done for now. They're going to get put back on the car, and once I get the car back, everything's going to get body worked and painted. Don't really know what the next thing I'm going to do on the MR2. I'm probably going to have to wait till I get the car back to start working on anything else. Actually, I can paint interior pieces, so that might be happening. We'll see. Stay tuned for the next video. See you in Cordele.